That alternate, they could go for level 1 action. Like, they could try to catch someone. They have the ability to do that if they want to level up the right skills. Now, the problem is that Shen and obviously Vayne are going to get ridiculously strong as the game goes on, as we get later on in. But then you run into the problem of Evil Geniuses, where Wicked, he's just naturally going to get tanky. And then you have, of course, Anivia on Froggen. Like, that is just going to be so hard to go up against. The displacement from the double walls, we have to mention, the Cataclysm and the Anivia wall, is going to be really hard for Ultimate to position around, which during the promotion series, we saw how important it was for them.
Well, right now, a lot of wards put down on this bottom side from Evil Geniuses. Up on the top side, though, we can see the Alternate are going to go for a similar style here of really taking away those early jungle creeps. The red buff is going to be the early target for Evil Geniuses, and that will be going over to Snoopy.
And we didn't catch it on screen, but if you're paying attention to the minimap, we did see Wicked actually teleport to top lane. So Ultimate, they don't know this. I mean, obviously, it's not going to matter too much in the early phase of the game, but it can give you a little bit of relief to go really aggressive here. But yeah, red buff's traded off here. It looks like minions were actually left in the in the camp of the EG's red buff. So obviously, they won't have a timer for it, but I want to see how RNA is going to play this Nunu, because he plays a lot of weird champions in the jungle, like we said, you know, the Ezreal, but also his Lee Sin, and now we're going to see Nunu, how well he can actually use it.
So talk us through these 2v1s that we're seeing going on there, as both junglers will finally get those double buffs in. You've got Nami, Vayne versus Ryze in that top lane, and you're going to have Thresh and Varus versus Shen in the bottom.
So it's going to be very tricky, I have to say, for EG side, because Kurt, I mean, you're Shen. You can obviously sustain really well under their own turret. He has the health pots and the rejuve bead to go for it as well, so he's going to be able to sustain quite well. Wicked, on the other hand, he's not going to be able to farm under turret too easily unless he wants to commit all of his mana to do that, which, as you can tell, obviously doesn't have a tier yet, doesn't have a catalyst, so it'll be a little bit difficult for him, as we already do have RNA heading over towards the top lane, and they really want to make a play here and really get this first blood.
Yeah, we saw their Ryze going in for the Mana Crystal at the start, which the Sapphire Crystal, which we've seen more and more often recently coming in there, and Snoopy is coming down towards the bottom. Yeah,
he's going to come in from behind, and we have pretty much simultaneous 3-man ganks happening, though Wicked, he was smart, he backed away. I don't think Kirps is this lucky, though.
Well, let's see. We can see Snoopy there headed down towards it. The lane is being pushed up by Evil Geniuses. Can they get in there for this one? They've got a big minion wave moving in there as well, as we are going to see Snoopy come out of the jungle. Double buff is still on. Can they get in there? Kurt actually going to taunt underneath the turret. Yellow Pete tanking it, has to flash away, and he's actually going to go down. Kurt somehow managing to get out of this one. Snoopy going very, very low as well, and Kurt somehow has stayed alive and got the first blood.
And RNA is, or not RNA, sorry, Brownlord is here. Lissandra's trying to go for these double buffs, and he might be able to catch him here. He did not see Snoopy, so unfortunately, he's going to miss out on those, but so well played by Kerp right there to see what happened, to have that taunt perfectly well placed, and getting the cockiness off of Yellow Pete to force a death out of him. In the meantime, Alternate did push down that top tier 1 turret, and they're already pushing on to the second. This is very fast.
This is fast stuff from Alternate, and not only the kill came out there, but Barrier Flash was used, as Wicked will have to flash away here as well in the top lane. Snoopy going to try and come in to cover things up, but now with the Vayne, now with the Condemn, you've got the snowballs that'll be able to snow them down, whatever, as they chase in there as well. So no real danger there for Alternate in that top lane. As you said, early first blood and an early first turret.
Yeah, what I really like, actually, we do see Kurt getting caught over in the bot lane, but obviously there's a chance to be fine. And one thing that was really cool about what they did top lane is Wicked backed off, like, really far, because he didn't want to get first blood, and he knew RNA was probably going to come in for a gank on him. But because of that, he missed out on a couple of minion waves there on the turret, and he was actually level 2 to pretty much the level 4 of Alternate.
Yeah, we can see there in that middle lane, because of Lord moving down, that Froggen is ahead of him in the levels above, which means he's going to hit that level 6, and we'll see if Froggen actually tries to utilize that position that he's got himself into there. He is a little bit ahead in terms of the farm as well, and looks like Froggen may even back off here for his first buy.
See, I think Alternate made a very smart strategic play here by taking the turret very early on. I mean, obviously you want to go for that anyways, but if you look at EG's lanes, I mean, you have a Ryze, so it's really easy to gank for him. You have an Anivia who can wall you off, obviously not too useful against a Lissandra, but you can stun you. And even in the bottom lane, if Cripple lands a hook on you. So by taking the turret very early on, they're minimizing Snoopy's ability to interact with all the lanes right now, and kind of trying to really hold him down, not in terms of counter jungling, but not letting him get any ganks in.
So we finally have 2v2 in this bottom lane as well, which is also going to be even on the CS. We can see double Doran's Blade start coming out of Yellow Pete's Varus, and the Vamp Scepter Doran's Blade start for Creaton's Vayne. So we'll see how that one develops a little bit later on. And that's the thing about that lane. A good bubble or a good hook from either of the supports can really start to set things up.
Yes, it could, as we do see it. Unfortunately, the hook missing there, but, Creatine, he's going to outscale Yellow Pete as the game goes on, obviously. So if he can survive into that point in the game, it's going to be very easy for him to outdamage EG. The only problem is, can he stay away from Snoopy? Can he kind of kite the entirety of Evil Geniuses and not get locked down?
Well, we're going to be finding that one out. Atlernate is right now headed up towards this middle lane. To be honest, Froggen is pretty close to that tower, and we are going to get a slight pause here for this one. Apparently one of them just getting a couple of lag spikes here. That's Froggen, which is definitely something you don't want as an Anivia. You have to be bang on the timing with all of your abilities, and the wall maybe even more so than the rest of them, especially with Atlernate hanging around that middle area there. So now we're 6.5 minutes into this one. I'll just break things down. It's over 1,000 gold lead right now, 1,300. First turret and first kill going over to Alternate. That kill obviously with Shen, which is just going to help him even further. He's already got that Giant's belt in there.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't want to Shen fed early on, because he's going to become such a nuisance for your team where he can shrug off Froggen, shrug off Wicked, and just go straight for Yellow Pete every time and lock him down. And like you just said, first blood, first turret taken for Alternate. I want to see first Dragon come in, because that's really a big deal. They have a good team to go for it. They have good protection. Obviously, they don't want to get walled off inside the pit, but like you said, 6.5 minutes in, no reason to go for it when you're not, really confident in your ability to do it. But still, they pop the lane swap on. Kerp, he's going to have the advantage to Wicked with that first kill, with the health, not to mention the level advantage. But it looks like we're going to get back underway here, Joe. Yeah,
it seems like Froggen's problem has been fixed here, so we're going to jump back into the game and see exactly how these next few minutes are going to unfold. Don't forget, this is the first game of the season for both these teams. The Snoopy coming through onto his Wolves, and the Yeti was just trying to steal him away. Sneaky stuff from Atlernate.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do with the new. The more you can counter jungle, the better. Not to mention Snoopy, once he gets that Cataclysm, he's going to be so devastating, where Atlernate, I mean, obviously when you hit level 6, it's going to be nice, but it doesn't really make your ganks that much more effective. And it looks like Snoopy, he's just being shut down everywhere right now because of the early takes, because of the ward coverage we have on the map. If you look at the mini-map, 2 wards towards the top side and even 2 towards the bottom. So Snoopy, he hasn't been able to get in there and do anything, but he has been farming relatively well because he still is ahead of Atlernate.
Yep, and now we'll maybe visit this middle lane here. Lissandra, of course, has that mobility to really escape from that one, but a wall can put stops to most of that action. As Froggen will start to really put the pressure down, but in the end, no real opening for Snoopy to get involved with that. He's just going to head back off in towards his jungle. This bottom lane, despite the fact that we've got the hooks from Thresh, with the bubbles from Nami, it's actually been fairly quiet.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like both teams are really confident in their AD carries actually going in and winning these trades, but the longer this game goes on, the stronger Cretan's going to get. If he gets that Bilgewater Cutlass, relatively early on, he can deal with them extremely easily.
Yeah, let's have a look at the CS in this top lane. And actually, let's forget that, because we are seeing the push coming around. Atlernate just trying to get himself in there. Had a lot of stacks of Blight on him, which were popped, and he will be forced to retreat away from that bottom lane. And they stay safe once again. The top lane, as I was talking about, though, is a pretty big disparity in terms of farm right now, even though Curve has got that big wave coming up onto him. Rise 10 CS ahead right now, already got that tier in.
Yeah, we actually do have 2 tiers built up already, so we're going to have relatively really tanky APs here. They want to go for an engaged bottom, but it's really hard to go up against that when you have a Nami who can heal, not to mention a Vamp Scepter on Cretan already has these lifesteal quintessences. And Joe, I was looking at items for a little bit, and Atlernate, he's going kind of like a support build, like back what we saw in Season 2 when you had support junglers where Snoopy really reigned king. And he's able to do that because he has Kerp, who's a tank. Like, he doesn't have to be the main tank for his team, so he can play a little bit more of a support role and help out for these fights.
Yeah, and the funny thing, we talk about this bottom lane, the whole potential for initiation. There's also the potential to, de-initiate with that bubble or with the hook as well. So if your AD carry gets hooked, no problem. You just take their AD carry with the hook or the bubble at the same time, and chances are nothing's really going to happen there. So that'll probably say fairly stale until the junglers do have their way and get down into this bottom side. One thing I'm noticing right now is a pretty much complete lack of wards for the blue side of Alternate.
Yeah, I believe those actually just ran out recently because they had really good coverage towards the top and bottom side. But it's a very good point because this is where Snoopy can really make something happen. We just see the flash shot land on Wicked.
Atlernate actually coming in for this one, gets the snowball down, but can they get the damage off Atlernate? Not got his ulti just yet, but the snowball's going to bring him right down. There's a kill. It's Atlernate that manages to pick it up, will consume a minion and jog off back into the jungle on his merry way. Meanwhile, in the middle, Forellenlord forced to flash out there. Actually, didn't flash out. He just got himself back under that turret, and that's the beauty about Alessandro. You have you got your abilities to escape, plus then the flash. You can cover a big amount of ground with that.
And the thing is, if you go for a Zhonya's relatively early on for Lissandra, you'll have that double immunity if you want to use it, which can set up your team for fights depending on how you use your ultimate, or you can bait the mins. So far, ultimate playing extremely well. RNA has been around the map quite a bit, hasn't really been successful in counter jungling too much, but obviously right there, getting that gank onto Wicked's really going to help out. And he also got the kill from that, so he'll be able to pick up another relatively early item.
So, bottom lane is starting to be pushed a little bit now by Evil Geniuses. We do have Cutlass on both AD carries at this point. Obviously that one Doran's Blade is the real difference between the two of them. No boots on Yellow Pete either here, which now could come to haunt him in the future, but then you've got you know, the ultimate out of him. You've also got the Lantern, which we've just seen in action there, which should be able to keep him safe.
See, Joe, we kind of talked about this back in the spring split right when it started, is that but the new teams coming in, obviously Alternate really isn't a new team. They can take like a first turret on you, which was like the real fad in the beginning of spring, but what they do after it kind of seemed to fall off. Most teams didn't really know where to go from that, and it looks like, you know, Alternate might be having that kind of a question, like what do we do now? Because they're letting EG farm. I mean, obviously they're farming as well, but they need to take that early advantage and use it for themselves.
Well, one thing's for sure, that Creatine is going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger as the game goes along. We can see that Snoopy just waiting around here a little bit for Kurt, but there you see in the top left, Aranea is waiting inside of the brush, and Aranea now is going to come across for this one. The taunt will land from Kurt. There comes the absolute zero. How much damage is it going to do? Not really a massive amount, but it might be enough to tie down Wicked in this one. Snowball's coming in. Kurt will finish off the kill. Snoopy should be able to escape from this one. Atlernate actually came in there just to make sure that that one was actually going to be safe, and that is another kill coming down for Alternate.
I feel like we're back in Season 2, Joe, because it's Camp Wicked again. And he has to get really frustrated with this because he's a Rise. He needs to be able to get his items very early on, and he's been punished so well by the other team. You know, he had a CS lead over Kerp, but he's lost that now. And now Kerp's 2-0-1, 2 no magic mantles. He's going to be really hard to deal with, and even at the bottom, there's still a little bit of action going down, but still, like you were saying before, both AD carries and supports really hesitant to go in for each other, but Dragon will be started here. Snoopy was spotted on the top lane, so obviously he won't be able to join in, but it looks like they're going to try to go for a kill on him with a teleport in for Wicked.
Yeah, teleporting for Wicked. Curve now realizing that he may be in a little bit of trouble, but that's a great shadow dash. Gets him away, even dodging the knock up there, and he's going to use the ultimate to get away. Not quite. Froggen comes in from the side. Kurt's still alive here. Snoopy gets the kill. In the meantime, though, we did see Alternate trying to capitalize, you know, making the best of a bad situation by taking the first dragon. And now Jerry actually going in here on towards Yellow Pete. Will land it. There's a stun against the wall. He's exhausted as Aranea going pretty low, but Yellow Pete in all kinds of trouble, and he goes down to Creatine.
And yeah, that was just so well played. I don't think it's actually over yet as Creplo is being chased down, but RNA against Froggen's got to back out.
Yeah, Froggen actually coming into this one, and it will be Froggen that picks up the kill. Creplo not super healthy from this one, but he does manage to land the hook. Creatine actually is going to cleanse out of that one and tumble away. Crazy stuff down in the bottom lane.
I'm loving the crowd. You heard everyone like, oh, ooh, at the escape. That was so so perfect, but you know, Alternate, they were able to make a play off of that. They took the dragon. Yeah, Kurt died, but they were able to pick up a kill off the back of it as well. And that went over to Creatine. So now he's 1-0, he's Bane, and he's already going to have that Blade of the Rune King done really soon as Froggen going in on Froggen.
Yeah, Froggen could be in a lot of trouble from this one. Well, let's not forget his passive as he puts down a ton of damage. Atlernate going very low and will be finished off by Froggen, who does get egg, but the egg is not going to be enough here to get the kill. And Froggen is now chasing in along with Snoopy. Can they track down a Shen though that's already got a lot of defensive items? And Kurt will simply saunter off.
And that's the problem with Lissandra. You're such a close-range AP carry that you're going to get in Froggen's face, and he doesn't miss stuns too often, or hardly ever. And Froggen, unfortunately, was the recipient of a death on his stats, but he also does have an Abyssal Scepter, so that will help him out quite a bit as they do get in, because he has to be their initiate for his team, pretty much.
Yeah, certainly does. And Froggen now sat at 2-0-1, and that's the scary thing. We know what an impact Anivia, especially Froggen's Anivia, can have onto a game when he's looking strong like that. He's leveling farm with Alessandro, obviously got more gold because of those kills, got the Catalyst in there, got that tier already stacking up, and he's actually sat on around about 1,600 gold right now, so he can get himself home, and he's going to come back into play with that Rod of Ages.
And he's going to be very scary. And it's weird to me is that Aranea, he played back with SK at Gamescom when these two teams played for their spot in LCS and the World Finals, and what SK did was just take away the blues. Don't let Froggen have it. You know, teams keep doing that against him, but they haven't been able to take away one just yet, and Froggen's been able to prosper off of that, and that might just come back to bite Alternate in the butt.
One other thing that scares me as well from EG's side of things, if you look at the AD carries there, we're seeing that Yellow Pete is starting to fall a little bit behind. Creatine already got that Blade of the Rune King in there, plus the kill as well, and you have to shut down a Vayne. We've seen it time and time again that a strong Vayne that's not being punished, in these early minutes, in these first 20 minutes, will generally go on to punish you.
And yeah, that's the problem EG is going to have as we get into these team fights. It's who's going to dive into the backline with Snoopy? Pretty much no one. I mean, I shrug like, yeah, no one's going to be able to get in there. So if Snoopy overextends, which he did do unfortunately against Copenhagen Wolves back in Lille, then he's going to get picked off, and it won't really matter the damage that EG has because Ultimate will be able to tank it out and be able to push through it.
And the counter initiate there from the tidal wave out of Jerry as well is very, very strong. It's going to make it very hard for EG to follow up there. Not to mention the Frozen Tomb as well coming out of Pharrell and Lord, which we saw a little bit earlier on in action. But up until now, if we look down the gold, it's a solid lead for Alternate. That tower and kill lead still stays in their advantage, and they're actually starting to push this bottom lane a little bit heavier now as well.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they're waiting for Atlernate to level up a little bit more because he has been leveling up that Blood Boil second just to help out Cretan, on top of that. So he's already going to have a lot of attack speed, but then with that Blood Boil on top of it, he's going to be hitting so hard and so quick. But just like you said, also it looks like they're going to go for a push on this turret, and they might be able to take it here.
I'm not sure if there's not going to be anything to stop them here. We can see on the minimap the Evil Geniuses backing away from this one, and with the Vayne with Blood Boil on there, there's no way you're going to stop that one happening. Froggen was trying to put down some damage on this mid turret to try and counter that one, but honestly, he's not going to be able to do enough. Pharrell and Lord here, he can just simply walk away with things with the Glacial Path coming out there as well.
Yeah, he can. It's really hard to lock down. You're going to have to land that stun on him, but we do have the rest of Alternate coming in, even with the ultimate out of Shet.
Yeah, and there we go. We talk about the Glacial Path. It's used to engage from Pharrell and Lord, and there's no egg, of course, for Froggen. That was used a little bit earlier on, and Alternate going to pick up another kill thanks to that Stan United coming in as well from Kerp, and now Alternate are looking for turret number 3, and honestly, Evil Geniuses can't do a thing about it.
They can go for more of this as well, because Froggen, he's pretty much the stop button, the pause button for EG. With him down, he can't clear out the wave, and also they're going to go for it.
They are going to go for it. Now we see the bubble coming in, actually catching a lot of them. Ultimate comes out Yellow P, which will spread decently, while Alternate trying to get away. There's a Rune Prison coming down. Beppo gets the kill. Box going in there. Creatine going low. Creatine knocked down. Atlernate are going to do a decent amount of damage there from the absolute zero, but that leaves us in the end with a 2 for 2.
And Wicked, who's been pretty much quiet the entire this game except dying, comes in with a nice flash ring prison to lock down Cretan and to go up for that kill. I mean, the thing was, they wanted to kill him. He popped that cleanse a little bit earlier on, and they're able to turn that around, and that was a 4v5, Joe, and they were still able to win that fight.
Incredible, incredible stuff. And now Evil Geniuses trying to push this mid lane back here. I definitely don't want to be losing the inner turrets at this stage of the game. And now with the Nivea joining the party as well, they can clear them out quicker. And Alternate can do anything about it. So the Rune Prison goes down. There is a wall, the hook. Not quite landing onto Aranea.
And I think there's just one line that Alternate has to be careful of is in terms of time, where Evil Geniuses, you have a big lead on them. If you let this game go on too long, Wicked's going to catch up. I mean, especially with that kill and assist, if you're giving away kills. Froggen's going to get even further ahead. So, Alternate, with the lead they had, especially since they have still a 3,000 gold lead, should be going for team fights here.
Well, EG just looking for that dragon here. And he's going to be spawning right in front of them. And I'm not sure what Alternate can really do about this one. Kerp is going to be coming down. Aranea does have Smite available, but he's nowhere near that one. And Evil Geniuses will pick that one up. And it brings them to within almost 2,000 gold difference right now. And now a couple of turrets here and there, and they're going to be right back in the lead in this game.
Oh, wow. Kerp trying to go in for a taunt there. But it's really funny because Evil Geniuses, out of the league, they're like one of the hardest teams to really take dragons on consistently. Where Evil Geniuses will try to get them every single time. Gambit's really the other one. So it's a good job by them to even it up in terms of dragons. And now Alternate, after that last little engage we saw at the inner turret on EG side of the map, they're a little bit hesitant here to go in. They need cooldowns. Like, they need Cretan's Cleanse to really go for some fights. Even maybe Pharrell Lord's Flash to really help get in and then out.
Yeah, certainly do. Let's have a look down some of the items. We've not really talked about that. We've got Rise and a Nivea now with those Rod of Ages finished in. And interesting coming out of Wicked, they're going for the Boots of Swiftness on that Rise to make sure that those slows don't affect him quite as much there as Froggen. Going to get caught here in the middle, and we are going to see him knocked up by Nami's Wave. Flashes away actually from the bubble, but he's not going to escape this one. will get egg, but have they got the damage here to finish off? Absolute Zero going to come out. Froggen surely will go down. No! He gets from the Lantern in the very last second. Froggen not able to chase through, and in the end, up until now, no kills happening from that one. And there you see Thresh in action again.
Holy crap, Froggen's got to be breathing so tensely after that. Just barely escaping by the skin of his teeth. I don't know, well, birds don't really have teeth, but escaping barely right there because of Krepo showing why he wants to be the Thresh King. So well played by Evil Geniuses to turn around what was Froggen getting caught to pretty much nullifying it. And now Alternate, it looks like they might want to go for a push towards the top side of the map here, but I'm not sure they're going to lock this down because Wicked, he is coming in from behind here, and we have Froggen nowhere near this fight.
Yep, there was Wicked starting to push in. A ward goes over the top. Atlernate is going to get this blue buff, but he's definitely not healthy enough to be involved in anything. And you have to give Alternate credit there, pushing into that top side of the jungle, getting a good amount of wards down. So they're going to have great vision there, which means that they can freely move between these inner turrets in the middle and the top lane.
And that's where that gank pretty much came from, because the lack of vision that EG currently has down. That's why you're seeing Krepo go for a lot of pink wards, where he can't really afford to go for that Sightstone right now. He wanted to go for the Lock of the Iron Slayer to get a little bit of shield just to mitigate some damage, but great ward coverage out for Alternate will keep him in this game, and they're giving EG a run for their money here. Obviously, Dragon won't be up for a while, but it looks like we're going to go to a little bit of a quiet phase again, where people are just going to go back to farming.
Yeah, which I think is a better thing for Evil Genius as well at the end of the day. Like we talked about Rise, who started to get a lead, then started to fall behind. He's now been chasing this bottom lane. Wicked going to have to try and get it down, but you're not getting away from a Vayne, especially with that Blood Boil running. And that will be an easy kill, and Wicked caught a little bit out of position there. He can't afford to let that happen, especially when the recipient is going to be Creatine on Vayne.
I can understand it though, because he knows he needs to catch up and farm a little bit. He needs to get that tier stack so he can be really strong in these fights. But yeah, just like you said, you don't want to give kills over to Cretan. You don't want to give him that ability to free farm bot lane, which he's currently doing. And Alternate, they're cutting off EG here.
Oh, they're going to go in for this one as well. Yellowpete in all kinds of trouble. Is he going to escape? No, going to the Lantern, but he was killed mid-air. Now they're chasing Krepo, who puts the box down. There's the tidal wave. Double kill for Nunu.
And Cretan's still pushing the bottom lane right now on Vayne, so he should be able to get that turret. The Wicked will be heading down there very shortly to help out, but great job by Alternate. Fortunately, the kills went over to RNA, which isn't bad in the end, but if you could have given those to Lord, it would have made it even better.
Right now, Snoopy's actually going to be sticking around in this top lane to try and get that turret down. That'll be Evil Genius's number 2 of the game, but Alternate are going to pick up number 4 with that inner middle turret, and that opens up even more of the map if it wasn't already there for Alternate.
Yeah, I know you always talk about this, Joe, but those mid turrets, if you lose those, you lose so much control of the map, which Alternate's been doing such a great job of warding up. They're going to head bottom lane to get that turret as well. So 2 turrets from that exchange and a kill, not too bad in the end for them.
Not too bad at all. In fact, I'd say they're probably satisfied with how that one's gone. Now let's have a look at some of the items coming in there. We did see Runic Bulwark finished off by Arenea's Nunu, a Phantom Dancer now added in for Vayne on top of that Blade of the Ruin King.
And I think the most important pickup actually out of all these items was the Quicksilver Sash out of Froggen. Like you've seen Froggen Lord, every chance he has, he goes straight into Froggen, locks him down, and tries to kill him before he can do anything. And you know, you can camp Wicked all day, but it looks like Alternate realizes Froggen is like the main person you want to take away. EG likes to funnel as much CS into him, as many kills so he can carry the game, and Alternate's doing a fantastic job of stopping that.
Yeah, going to keep going in that one. If you look down the support items here as well, some interesting differences. That Locket of the Iron Solari finished up earlier by Krepo. We mentioned that with the Philostone. On the other side, Chalice coming out for Nami, which, you know, against a double AP team is definitely not a bad pickup either.
I'm curious if that's going to go into a Mikhail's Crucible, actually. We haven't seen that too much. Actually, in North America, I believe we saw it for the first time ever. A relatively good item, gives you more health based on how much health you're missing, and it gives you that free cleanse. So pretty much Cretan, he won't have to go for his Quicksilver Sash anytime soon, which frees him up obviously for some better items, which actually, matter of fact, looks like a Last Whisper coming. And then he has the ability to pop his own cleanse and just run around the entire fight. But also, they are taking away the blue buff from Froggen, which is going to be a key point. If Alternate wants to push inhibitor turrets here, they have to take that blue away, and in fact, they did.
Trying to starve everything that they can here away from Evil Geniuses. Aranea going to get caught on the wrong side of the wall here, but he is pretty damn tanky. Only down to half HP there is Creatine. He's actually going to go in here on towards Yellow Blue, has to flash away. Nami's tidal wave going to go across the entire team here. Aranea finally will go down as Creatine will finish off Yellow Pete. Now it's Crepo in trouble. Can they finish that one off? Snoopy locked up, and this is a whole host of kills coming down for Alternate. A 3-for-1, and they're not done just yet. They're going to try and chase after Froggen on that top side. Looks like he'll be safe though. Alternate happy with what they got. May just head back off towards Baron. They are.
What just happened in that fight? You saw Cretan go in by himself at the beginning, just going into the team of EG and trying to start that fight. You saw Froggen unfortunately get zoned out by Kerp, but Baron, like you said before, is being started down about half health here, but we do have Wicked and Froggen here to stop it, and they're inside this pit. That's going to be very bad for them.
Right now, Wicked starting to move in there, and he gets jumped on straight away. That's a kill, another kill we should mention for Cretan. Froggen going to get egged up by Pharrell Lord. He's not escaping either, and that's another one down for Alternate. The Baron still not quite finished off here, but that will be done here in just a couple of seconds, and Alternate going to have it for 4 out of their 5 men.
That's such a good lead for now for Alternate. And going back, to the fight we just saw previously, Kerp went straight for Froggen and zoned him out completely. You saw Yellow Pete, pretty much being attacked the entire time by Cretan, and then you saw RNA actually ult pretty much in the middle of that fight, and you saw Yellow Pete actually take the lantern, but unfortunately for him, it was into the middle of RNA's ultimate, so he got chunked down from that, and unfortunately pushed out right away. But now RNA is going for Dragon yet again, and with that Baron, with being Nunu, he should go take it quickly and extend this goal lead even further.
Yeah, and another spike of power coming out as well. In terms of the items for Alternate, RNA, as you said, just working that Dragon down all on his own here as the Nunu.
And just look at the difference of gold, if we get that on your screen, to show you between the two carries of Alternate and EG. You look at Cretan, he has pretty much 10,000 gold to the 7,500 Yellow Pete, but the big story to me is RNA has 8,300 to the 5,800 of Snoopy, and he's been pretty much jungling, hasn't been counter jungling, but it's down in CS. However, all the fights he's been doing, the double kill, the dragons he's been opening up, the turrets he's been opening up, has been giving him that huge advantage.
Yeah, really impressed by the Lissandra player as well, coming out on Pharrell Lord. I mean, he's died a couple of times into this one, but he has set a lot up there with his ultimate really being able to lock things down, and the initiation power that you just have coming out of Lissandra, especially when you pair that with a Shen who can taunt afterwards.
See, I love actually seeing Pharrell Lord, back a couple of months ago to now. He's such a team player now. I mean, yeah, he goes in and dies, but he's acting like Reginald from TSM in North America, where he's going to go in, he's going to create an opportunity for your team to fight, but Kerp getting caught here.
Yeah, brilliant hook actually coming down. The ultimate out of Yellow Pete not quite landing, and Kerp says, no, not today, lads. I'm half HP and I'm going to walk straight away from this one. Meanwhile, Alternate are actually pushing his bottom lane down, getting vision in the bottom side of the jungle, and they're going to try and set up some kind of ambush here for anyone that comes down to defend.
And they do have an Oracle on RNA, so they're denied all this vision, and if EG makes one step out of line, they're going to get caught here extremely quickly. And you saw EG in the top lane going for Kerp, like they wanted to shut him down. They knew he's such a problem now with that Sunfire Cape split pushing top lane, and they wanted to go for the kill, but with 4 members, they couldn't do it, and now the rest of Alternate, they're pushing bot lane.
Yeah, they are going to be moving into this one. Yellow Pete is miles away from the situation, as we are going to see Pharrell go in there. Tidal Wave comes across. Crepo is going to be a dead man, but can they get any more? Yes, they can. Wicked easily locked down, and well, Yellow Pete nowhere near that fight, and that is going to be the first inhibitor of the game.
And since when do you ever see AP mids being the initiator for your team like that, where he just went straight in, he locked down Froggen with his ultimate, and then you saw Kerp come in with his ulti just to help out. And with that first inhibitor down, looks like they might even go for a second here, because they still have that Baron buff available, and you have Wicked and Crepo down.
Yeah, this is bad news for Evil Geniuses. They're going to try and hold on, which an Anivia can clear out those waves very quickly, but Alternate are not scared of just getting in there and getting that dirty work done, as they do manage to lock up Snoopy. He's going to be destroyed from this one. Did manage to get Cataclysm down, but Cretan doesn't care about that one. He runs straight in there, almost takes Froggen with him, but this surely will be inhibitor number 2 for Alternate.
It's just like a hook landing for Alternate. Like when they have Frumler go in, land that the W onto EG, the entire team just collapses on top of that, because they trust him that if he's going to go in, even if we lose this fight, we're doing it as a team, and they're just completely dominating Evil Geniuses right now.
Alternate finally forced to back away from this one with a whole host of gold to spend, honestly. I mean, 2,400 on Pharrell Lord here will just put him ridiculously strong after that one. I mean, across the board, they're all over 1,000 gold to spend, so that just shows you what Alternate have got here as they start to head back. But this top lane still not quite pushed out, I think, to Alternate's liking. They want to do it the tutorial way here and take down every single turret, every single inhibitor, and then just overwhelm Evil Geniuses with creeps.
And the problem that they're going to have is, with those 2 waves of super minions pushing in from middle and from bottom, who's going to stop them? Who's going to clear the waves? I mean, Yellow Pete obviously can't do it extremely quickly, you want to send Frog in, but he's pretty much your lifeline into this game, where he can keep you out of a fight at the top of the inhibitor turret. In the meantime, we did see Alternate actually take away a blue buff yet again from Evil Geniuses, so they're pretty much stopping the ability for Froggen to stall the split push. But then again, I mean, with 2 super minion waves pushing, it's really hard to defend against this, and Evil Geniuses, they've been in situations like this before. They've come out of situations like this before, but it's not looking too good for them.
Yeah, Freeland now adding that needlessly large rod into that Abyssal Scepter and the Death Cap and the Haunting Guys in there that he had earlier on. That is a lot of pain coming down. Looks like Creighton may head the way of a Frozen Mallet here towards the end, just to, give him that extra health boost, but also let him chase down and stop people getting away from him. On the other side, Mikhail's Crucible, as you predicted earlier on, coming out for Jerry, also picked up boost mobility and an Oracle on his last trip home, and Snoopy here in the jungle might be in a little bit of trouble.
Was able to escape right there, but yeah, just look at the difference in items between the 2 junglers. For Snoopy, all he has is that Aegis, but we do see we could get caught with an Auk Prison. And to me, they have to concede this, because look at their Nexus turrets. They're already being attacked by super minions.
Oh, here we go, though. Evil Genius is going to go in for this one. Aranea going very, very low, but will crucially get away from that one. They lock Lissandra up as well. Aranea, though, well, he can probably just consume a lot of this back, getting some heals from Jerry as well. But look at that, the super minions were pushing as well.
Yeah, that first Nexus turret's already half health down. Crumple gets caught.
Yeah, he's going to get caught up once again. Wicked going very low. Alternate diving straight in on top of this one, and that's going to be 3 kills already. They're not finished. Creatine is taking a lot of damage, but they can't really lock him down. Froggen's going to try and finish him off. Wall comes in, he gets egged and finished off, and that is an ace for Alternate, and surely the game here, their first of the LCS summer split.
So Joe, just like their brother or sister teams, they were able to get their first win on their first game of LCS, and they just showed why we deserve to be in LCS. That was just phenomenal play across the board, just from the beginning of that game, taking that first turret, and just the way they flowed into what they wanted to do next. So well played by Alternate, they deserve that one.
Yeah, a massive